Perched on the edge of Utah's soaring Ponce-Gant Plateau and 4 hours northeast of Las Vegas is Bryce Canyon National Park, an ever-changing landscape of soaring pinnacles, bottomless chasms, lofty woodlands, and forests of stone. Despite its name, this wild panorama of sand, stone, and sky is not a canyon. It is a collection of natural amphitheaters forged by colossal movements of the Earth's crust 16 million years ago. Ever since, the unrelenting forces of water, wind, and frost have carved the fins, hollows, and hoodoos that punctuate this otherworldly wilderness. The plateau has long sustained human habitation, with many Native American tribes hunting and gathering here throughout millennia, most recently the Southern Paiute. The park's name comes from Mormon settler Ebenezer Bryce, who began ranching in the area in 1870. The geological labyrinth proved problematic for the cattlemen, and Ebenezer soon relocated, famously declaring that the amphitheater was a hell of a place to lose a cow. Most travelers start their journey at Old Bryce Town to stock up on provisions and feel the spirit of the Old West. Head into the heart of the park and stop by the Visitor Center to get all your information about Bryce Canyon, from maps and itinerary planners to road and weather condition updates. From here, follow the Bryce Canyon Scenic Drive, which runs the length of the park. As most trailheads and overlooks are on the road's eastern side, many travelers drive to the southernmost point first to avoid crossing traffic at every stop on the return journey. Cruise along at your own pace by car, or climb aboard the regular shuttle bus that runs throughout the summer season. Park your car at Rainbow Point, and from the lookout, cast your gaze north to the dramatic landscape stretching out before you. Then be immersed in the fresh scent of spruce and fir as you follow the Bristlecone Loop to Yovimpa Point, the highest viewpoint in the park. From here, the grand staircase stretches out before you, continuing all the way to the border of Arizona, and on clear days to the edge of Grand Canyon National Park. After beginning your return journey north, take in more spectacular views at Black Birch Canyon, where the earth below plummets into a narrow ravine bordered by sandstone fins and eroded rock pillars known as hoodoos. Each viewpoint along the scenic drive provides a new and spectacular perspective of the park's ethereal landscape. Continue north to Ponderosa and Agua Canyons, where even more gargantuan statues, sculpted by the hands of time, await. According to Southern Paiute legend, a race of selfish, disrespectful creatures once lived in the canyon. Fed up, the trickster god Coyote turned them all to stone, and their petrified bodies became the eerie hoodoos that adorn these amphitheaters. The plateau is an ever-changing canvas, and Mother Nature's work is never complete. Even the most monolithic formations are vulnerable to her unrelenting hands. At Natural Bridge, gaze down through the arch, once a solid wall of rock slowly eroded away by the hands of time. A further 5 minutes north, at aptly named Farview Point, take in the soaring panoramas of Bryce Canyon and Grand Staircase National Monument. Then follow the short trail to Piracy Point for even more sweeping vistas. A little further north, stand on the lip of the park's namesake, Bryce Canyon, a spectacular 6-square-mile amphitheater. There are multiple viewpoints along its edge, which are accessible by car and shuttle, or by hiking all or part of the epic 11-mile Rim Trail. At Bryce Point, cast your gaze down at a labyrinth of orange glowing drip castles, and west toward the canyon's wall of windows. Then follow the rim trail through ancient bristlecone and ponderosa pines before emerging at the sheer cliff face of Inspiration Point. Continue along the Rim Trail or drive to Sunset Point and stare off the edge into a sea of jagged crimson spires. From Sunset Point, the iconic Navajo Loop Trail descends through towering fins and pinnacles into the amphitheater. Weave your way down through the soaring corridor of Wall Street, and then past an unstirring huddle of hoodoos known as the Silent City. If you've got the time, extend your hike on the Queen's Garden Trail. Wander through mystical passageways into a cluster of hoodoos, where a formation bearing an uncanny likeness to Queen Victoria presides over her garden of stone. Then begin your ascent up to Sunrise Point on the Rim Trail. If you choose not to hike down into the amphitheater, follow the paved stretch of the Rim Trail from Sunset Point to Sunrise Point. This section of trail is wheelchair and stroller friendly and offers some of the most awe-inspiring views of Bryce Canyon. As you gaze out at this ever-changing canvas of sunset-colored spires, coral fins, and terracotta cliff faces, you will take in the work of hundreds of millions of years in a single glance. This is a place where glorious scale will make you feel small, and there is something truly humbling and liberating about that. So come, walk beneath the shadows of giants and stand upon the towering shoulders of nature at Bryce Canyon National Park.
Hi, I'm Dan Nicol from Dan Really Likes Wine with a history lesson. And if you know me, if you know Dan Really Likes Wine, I love the history of South African wine. And I particularly love the history of an estate called Alto in Stellenbosch. It is an iconic South African wine estate, making iconic South African wine. And it does so with a real family feel, because in the 100 years that Alto has been making wine, they've only had 5 winemakers, including Barto, the current winemaker. And that means they've had 100 years of experience of making red wine. That's all they do, no whites. They make one rosé of late, but the big focus is on reds like this, the Alto Shiraz, which I've drunk a fair amount over my time, and it's one of those stronger forms of Shiraz. It's got a great deal of character to it and a lot of intensity, but they also make a wine that is such a staple in South African households and has been now for a century, because the 100 years of Alto means 100 years since the Alto Rouge blend first came to light. And I don't think there is another red blend in South Africa that has been made for quite so long. It is a fantastic story. Now, normally it's 115 Rand a bottle. If you're a member of the Pick and Pay Wine Club, and do I need to remind you, it is free to join, and the benefits are, if not endless, then very close to it. 115 Rand comes down to just 92 Rand for the Alto Rouge for a bottle if you're a member of the Pick and Pay Wine Club. But there's another benefit. If you are a member of the wine club, if you're buying a bottle of the Alto Rouge, buying a bottle of the Alto Shiraz, buying a bottle of any of Alto's wines in Pick and Pay, then there is a massive prize that we have to give away, and we'd love to give it away to you. And who knows, there might be a phone call from the team at Pick and Pay telling you that there's an incredible prize from Alto coming your way to help celebrate 100 years of winemaking brilliance. To join the Pick and Pay Wine Club, simply SMS your smart shopper number to 36775. It's absolutely free, and you'll get for yourself 3 times the smart shopper points on every bottle of wine bought. You'll also get a 20% discount on 10 different wines each month, a 25% discount on a case of wine, and a Magnum, some terrific competitions and invitations to awesome events.
We are here at the Studio One in the BBC Television Centre to reveal the Lotus Electra, which is our next car in the portfolio. I'm really pleased that we're launching the car finally today. This is a change for Lotus. It's taken us to a new segment, to a wider audience, but this vehicle as well is transformational for the brand. The technology that's included in it, the design that's involved in it as well.
The key design features are really defined by the philosophy that we have behind the whole product. So what we've really tried to do with this car is take all of the sort of theories, the technologies and the ideas that we have and we express in our sports cars and hypercars, and apply those to a brand new vehicle segment for Lotus, which is in fact an E-segment SUV. So all of the philosophies behind hypercar design that you've seen on the Avaya and the Emira are now translated to this product, and this gives us something super unique in that segment of the market. If you start at the front of the car, we have this very sharp line that runs around the nose that sort of visually separates the air. That line runs right the way around to the tail where it culminates in this kind of blade of light. So from a sort of very simplistic point of view aesthetically, we have that as part of the core DNA. You can see very muscular fenders and haunches on the car. That again has a strong link back to the sports cars. And indeed, the whole proportion on this car is really picking up the kind of mid-engine aesthetic that Lotus has been known for the last 30 years.
So this is really exciting for us. It's part of the transformation, and the work that's been going on at home, at headquarters for the last 2 years, has been to prepare for the sports cars coming through. It takes us into a new segment we haven't been in before, and it will show our aspirations of where we want to take this brand.
Yeah, very happy, very pleased with the result. It's yeah, much more than what we were aiming for. We originally aimed we were hoping a top 10. I mean, being the first international, my first time racing abroad, it was more of a let's come here, sow the course, get round, see where we place and see how we're doing really, and it's turned out better than that. It's gone well, yeah.
And gold medalist and winner of the Paul Phelan Trophy, representing Great Britain, it's Charlie Dixon!
Great start by both of them, two different styles position-wise for that stock saw. Jason Lentz looks like he got through there just a hair faster. Jack Jordan moving over to the underhand chop, about a stroke behind Jason Lentz now on the underhand, but Jack Jordan's been really good on the chopping disciplines all day long today. Let's see, Jordan's through, moving over to the single buck, about 2-3 strokes ahead of Jason Lentz, but he gets a big hook up on the single buck. Jack Jordan gets to the standing block chop just ahead of Jason. Jason knows he's got to really work hard here, and this is the advantage for Lentz now on that standing block, but Jack Jordan's moved over to the other side ahead of Jason Lentz. It's going to be Jack Jordan taking this one down today, and it's going to be Jack Jordan! He's your new champion in the trophy format! Unbelievable, fantastic!
And the winner is Jack Jordan!
What I tend to look for when I go to places are things that are visually appealing. When you walk down the sand dunes here in St. Lucia, just thinking of the old shipwrecks or the explorers, the first thing they saw was these long beaches and impenetrable forest. They still look exactly the same. I can't imagine there are many places in the world where you can see tons of things in one day. I want to pinch my arm and say, this can't be true. I'm in the middle of this. I think the uniqueness is that it's diverse. You could peel off layer after layer and you'll find more and more things. It's all here for you to just be part of.
July 29th, 1981. Britain's Prince Charles marries Lady Diana Spencer at St. Paul's Cathedral in London. The Archbishop of Canterbury, Robert Runcie, leads the ceremony.
Charles Philip Arthur George, wilt thou have this woman to thy wedded wife?
I will.
Diana Francis, wilt thou have this man to thy wedded husband?
I will.
The royal couple separates in 1992, then divorces in 1996. Diana is killed in a Paris car crash the following year. 1883. Benito Mussolini, the first of Europe's fascist dictators during the 20th century, is born in Predappio, Italy. Known as Il Duce, Mussolini leads Italy into the Axis alliance with Nazi Germany's Adolf Hitler. Both dictators meet a violent end during World War II. 1958. Months after launching its first satellite into orbit, the United States takes another major step forward into the space age. President Dwight Eisenhower signs into law the creation of NASA, the nation's space agency. And 1890. Artist Vincent van Gogh dies of a self-inflicted gunshot wound in Paris. The Dutch painter was 37 years old. Today in history, July 29th. Camille Bohannon, The Associated Press.
Welcome back in our studio, and in today's news,